Welcome to this video. What we're doing now is we are gonna film a couple of B-roll shots outside of Tim Hortons. So what we need to get is basically an exterior shot. And right now we're using the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K, and we have the aperture at 2.8 and our ISO is at about 6400. So we're making everything very susceptible to light. But what do you do when you have a DSLR that can't do that? It's probably still going to be a bit grainy. The native on that camera is about 1200 and 400, so we can go up to 1200, but at 6400 it's fine. Again, we have no light. It is basically pitch black out here. But what we want to do is basically fix the shot that we have. Yeah, so now we're at f8. We are at a shutter speed of 50, and then we are also at 200 ISO. So how are we going to fix that? Well, number one, you want to bring up your ISO to the highest level when you're filming, especially at night or dark scenes. And then number two, you want to open up the aperture. So what we're going to do is fix those two. And again, we want to keep our shutter at 50. So let's start off with that. So right now we just brought everything to 800. And then we're going to get focus too. There we go. And there we go. So compared to the previous shot, so this lens in particular can only open up to an f3.5, whereas the lens in front of me can open up to a 2.8. So again, we are using a cheap $100 kit lens, and this camera is old, so we're just showing that you can get all of this footage with the minimal amount of equipment. So this is looking pretty cool. Again, our shutter speed is at 50 and our aperture is at 3.5. So now that we have our exposure as good as we can get it, I would say it's a little bit dark, but we'll be able to add things in post and fine tune it a little bit. So if we look at the histogram, things are much better. We're not all the way to the left, we're starting to pull it towards the middle. So what we're gonna do is just get a side to side shot. So we're gonna pan over, we're not gonna do any tilting, we're gonna pan over, and then we're also gonna zoom in and then get a little rack focus. So let's do that. And of course you gotta wait because there's a lot of people, a lot of cars. And again, we're just looking for B-roll, so sound doesn't matter as much, but that's what we're doing. The main reason we wanna get the establishing shot is because that's gonna give the viewers an idea as to the location and everything else that we're doing for the project. In our notes, so if you go on your phone, if you pull up the notes app, which we talked about in a previous section, go over all that shot list and make sure that you have all those shots. That's gonna help you out, and then it's gonna help you produce an incredible video. So all the extra B-roll shots we have doesn't mean we have to use it, but now we have them. Here we go. So the other shot we want to get, we want to zoom in as tight as possible on the logo. I think this looks cool, especially at night. Because we have our aperture wide open, we can basically go from out of focus and then into focus. So it adds a little bit of quality cinema to it. So what we're going to do is just change our focus, make sure we're in manual mode, and we're going to rack focus into focus. And the best way on this camera, and most of them, is to use your viewfinder. Also, make sure that the distance is from you to your subject, not the other way around. So you want to go from basically what's closer and out of focus, and then you want to go right into focus. So your distance is close and then further out. So this focus system isn't the best, but we're gonna make it work. That lens would be way better, but we're using it to film. So again, we're just gonna do a couple, and then you can edit and post. So if you mess it up, you can just reshoot it again. So we're gonna do it a couple times. I'm pretty sure I got it in focus. You can make sure that your focus peaking is on too. And again, just make sure when you're filming at night, you get tons of shots. We're only gonna get 2. You can utilize that method as well. So basically what we're doing is we're getting a whole sequence of different shots.